By default, the sign-up form in Mailchimp is a little on the plain side and really only asks your future subscriber for basic information. Thankfully, Mailchimp offers a wide variety of options that allow you to fully customize your email sign-up form. My name is Digital Girl, and in today's Mailchimp tutorial, I'll show you how to create an advanced sign-up form that is fully loaded and ready to gather tons of information from your subscribers. Before we get started, I wanted to give a special shout out to one of our viewers for requesting this tutorial. I really do appreciate all of your feedback and suggestions. And if you have a certain email marketing video you'd like to see, please leave a note in the comments and we'll do our best to cover it for you. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Once you're logged into your Mailchimp account, you're going to want to go under Audience and hit Sign Up Forms. From there, we're going to select the Form Builder. You should automatically be taken to the sign up form, but if for some reason something else is selected here, all you have to do is click on the drop-down menu and hit Sign Up Form. Here we have the sign up form URL, which we can put in another tab to preview all of our changes as we go. And as you can see, the sign up form that comes with Mailchimp is pretty basic. We've got a title along with an email address and then the subscriber's name, but that's kind of it. So we'll head on back to Mailchimp. And then from there, we'll go ahead and customize our sign-up form. Starting at the top, we can edit the title. You can either edit it or remove it altogether. You can also use an image, such as a logo. So I'll go ahead and show you both options. So the first will just be a matter of editing the text. We can go ahead here and replace what's there already. Once you're done, simply hit Save and Close. Now, if you wanted to get a little fancier with it, you can certainly replace the text with an image instead. Simply click on Use Image. From there, you can hit the Upload button in the top right-hand corner to upload perhaps your logo. However, if you've already been running email campaigns or you've had this Mailchimp account for quite some time, you may already have your logo in your Images folder. If that's the case, all you have to do is click on it and then hit Insert in the top right-hand corner. Now from there, you may want to adjust the size of the logo. So for example, 400 will be quite large, so I'm going to make it a bit smaller. You can also add a link to the logo. So let's say you'd like for someone to be able to click on the logo and then be taken to your website. You can go ahead and insert the URL here. And then you can either check or uncheck the Open in a New Window option. I'm going to go ahead and check it off so that if someone clicks on the logo, the website will open up in a new tab instead of the existing one. So that's it. We'll go ahead and click on the Save button here. Next, we'll move on to the bit of text here, the message that goes at the top of your sign-up form. So let's go ahead and click on the Edit button. Feel free to go ahead and enter some compelling text here that would entice someone to sign up for your email list. All right, so we've gone ahead and added some text here, but we can take it a step further and format the text if we'd like. So for example, we can make some of it bold. We can also make some of the text italic. Another thing that you can do here is add a link to your text. Now, I don't know that I would really suggest doing this because you want the person to continue through the sign up form and sign up for your email list. And if you add the link, it'll take the potential subscriber away from your sign up form, and you may potentially lose the sign up. So it's completely up to you whether or not you want to add a link. But if for some reason you wanted to, I will show you how to do it. So let's say we wanted to give a better idea as to what someone can expect with our email newsletter, and we wanted to link them to an example of different tutorials that they can expect. I'll go ahead and highlight tutorials, And then I'll click on the link icon here, where we can add a URL to our tutorials. While we do have a lot of video tutorials hosted on our YouTube channel, we also have written tutorials on our website, so I'll go ahead and grab that link. So this could be an example of a useful link that you might want to include in your email sign-up form. So I'll go ahead and grab the link and then simply paste it into this field here. You do have other options here as well. You could link to an email address. Perhaps you wanted to say something like, for more information, email us at such and such an email. We also have an anchor link option, which basically allows you to jump to different parts of the page. And then we also have a file option. So let's say you wanted to include a PDF or some kind of downloadable file, you can certainly do that as well. From there are also advanced options, such as opening it up in a new window, which I'm going to leave checked off. There's also a title attribute that you can add if you wish. Once you're done with your link, go ahead and hit the insert button. And if that's all you'd like to add here, we'll go ahead and hit save and close. Next up, we have the email address, which of course is a very important piece of the sign-up form. And as I click on these different fields, you'll notice that the field settings open up on the right-hand side. So by default, the label is email address, which you could change if you wanted to. It is a required field. And if you'd like, you could add some help text. Now, entering an email address is pretty self-explanatory, but I will go ahead and add help text just to show you what it looks like. Once we're done, we'll hit Save Field. And then I'll go back to our sign up form URL page and refresh it, just so that we can see what it looks like so far. As you can see, the form is coming along. We have the text that we added, along with the bold section and the italic section as well. If I click on this link, it'll go ahead and take us to the website. So that's working, which is great. And then if we click into the email address field, we'll see the help text here. So far so good. Everything's working okay and looking great. We'll head on back to Mailchimp and then edit the next field, which is first name. We can click on it and then edit the settings on the right-hand side. You can start out by changing the field label if you'd like. You can also choose to make the field a required field or not. We'll leave it as visible. And then I'll go ahead and enter help text again. Now again, this is completely optional. And then last but not least, we have the default merge tag value. As you can see here, it says that the default value will be used for personalization when a recipient doesn't have a value for the merge field. So normally Mailchimp would pull the first name information and say something like, "Hi, Chris," or whatever the person's name is. But if there's nothing to pull, then it would say, "Hi, blank." Like there would be nothing there, which it would look kind of silly, of course. So we can go ahead and put something that will be used by default if there is no first name provided. So we could put something generic, maybe like "Hi, friend," for example. Now, if you do make it a required field, the merge tag value isn't as important because it will just pull whatever the person puts in the field. But if you are going to leave it optional, like I'm doing in this case, it's a good idea to enter something here into the merge tag value field. All right, so once we're done, we'll hit save. Next, we'll go ahead and click on the last name. We can leave the field label as is. I mean, first and last name is pretty straightforward. But in this example, I'm going to hide the last name. You can, of course, leave it visible, but I'm just going to do this as an example to show you what it looks like on the form. Plus, not everyone is comfortable giving their last name. So I'll go ahead and hit Save Field. And then I'm going to go back to the form and refresh it to see what it looks like now. There you see it, we have our help text here. And then of course the last name field has been hidden, so we don't actually see it on the live sign up form. And you'll notice that it's now marked as hidden here. So moving along, I'm going to add a new field. And you may not actually need to use all of these options, but I want to run through most, if not all of them, to show you all of the different options that are available to you when setting up a sign-up form in Mailchimp. Now, text I'm going to leave for last because I would like to add a text section at the bottom of the sign-up form. But if we go to the next one, which is number, and click on it, so it will add an untitled field here where you can update the field settings on the right-hand side. You could use this field for just about anything, so long as the input format is a number. Because we create tutorials and learning content that's designed to help people grow their business, specifically through email marketing, we could potentially ask people, how large is your email list? And then from there, tailor the content depending on how large their list is. We'll go ahead and edit the field label, which gives the person filling out the form more of an idea as to what to enter here. I'm going to leave it as an optional field. Set it to visible so that everyone can see it. And then I'll add a little more info to the help text because someone might be a little confused as to why this information would be important. We'll go ahead and save the field. We'll head on back to the Add a Field tab here. And next up, we have radio buttons. Now, of course, the radio buttons give you a set of different options to choose from, but unlike checkboxes, you can only select one option. So let's give it a field label name here. Go ahead and enter whatever makes the most sense for your sign-up form. I'm entering, do you sell products online or do you plan to? Which allows us just to get a better idea of our audience's needs. I'll go ahead and make it a required field. Now, if you hit convert to groups, it will group the subscriber based on their answer, which will allow you to show them specific content. So feel free to go ahead with that if you'd like. I am going to skip that part though for now. I'm going to leave the visibility as visible, and then I'll head on down to the different choices. So this is really just a yes or no answer. So go ahead and replace them. So we can delete an option if we'd like, or we can add more. So although it is a yes or no question, we could have a third option that says, I'm undecided or I'm not sure. So once you're done entering all of your information, hit the save button. Now that we're done with the radio buttons, I'll go back to add a field and hit checkboxes. And again, the main difference with a checkbox is just that you can select more than one. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a new label. And then from there, we'll add all of the different options. And of course, we want more than just the one option. So we'll go ahead and hit Save Field. I'll head on back to Add a Field. And while we've added checkboxes to cover the different areas of interest, I would also like to add a checkbox section for what kind of tools does everyone use. So we create online learning content for different sections, such as email marketing, e-commerce, and social media. But it would be quite beneficial for us to know, okay, what kind of tools are people using? Is it Mailchimp, Shopify, WooCommerce, what have you? And again, a lot of this is really just to get a lot of information from the subscriber so that we can understand what kind of content is best for them. At the end of the day, you want to give your readers or your subscribers the most value as possible. And getting to know what they're interested in and what they're looking for can really help you to accomplish that. So let's go ahead and edit the information on the right-hand side. And I'll simply list the different apps and software that we cover currently. And let's say you've added one option too many. You can simply hit the minus icon and then enter delete to have it removed. I'll go ahead and hit save now that I'm done. And if we go back to our live form here and refresh the page, you can see that we're building a much more advanced form than what initially comes with Mailchimp. So we'll head on back. And next up on our list, if we go to the Add Field tab again, is a drop-down menu. As you can see, it's been added to our form on the left-hand side. We'll go ahead and update the information on the right. Now, because I'm building this advanced sign-up form with eStoreKings in mind, I'm going to ask marketing-related questions. But of course, go ahead and ask whatever makes more sense and is more relevant for your type of content that you'll be sharing with others. I'll go ahead and ask, what is your skill level? Like, are you beginner, intermediate, advanced? So that we have a better idea as to what kind of content to put in each email campaign. So for this, I will make it a required field. And I'm going to add help text to give the reader a little more info as to why we're asking this question. Adding help text can always be a good idea because while you know what you're asking for and why you're asking it, it may not be apparent to the reader. I don't know if that's the best way to put it, but that is kind of the point I'm trying to get across here. And also for you, while you're making your form, just keep in mind that you can always come back and tweak things later if it's not quite the right wording or you realize, this field doesn't quite make sense anymore. Now, under menu options, we have a few different settings here that we can play around with, including predefined choice lists. However, you can do things like gender, days of the week, months of the year, US states, and world countries. So getting back to our current skill level, I'll go ahead and replace the different choice options here. And we'll just go with generic wording like beginner, intermediate, and advanced. All right, and then we'll go ahead and save. The next custom field on our list is date. Asking for someone to fill out a date on your sign-up form may not be applicable to what you're looking for, but I will add it in as an example just to show you what it looks like. So let's go ahead and update the label. Now again, this is just an example. We can play around with the date format, whether it's month or day first. I will leave it as an optional field. And I'll go ahead and leave it as visible. You can certainly add help text if you'd like. Otherwise, go ahead and hit the Save Field button. And as we add these fields, you'll notice that Mailchimp is putting them on the left-hand side, but the order in which they appear is not set in stone. What we can do is actually drag and drop them around depending on which order we'd like to have them in, so that everything shows up in the order we'd like for it to appear in. So far we have email, first name, last name, that's fine. It would make sense to put this up a bit higher because we're still learning about the person. And then I'll move this one up. So go ahead and move things around to your liking. And if we go back to add a field, the next up on the list is birthday. Of course, birthday is pretty self-explanatory. Adding a birthday field is actually quite helpful in that you can send your email readers a special birthday email. You've likely received a birthday email from companies and newsletters before. They often send you a free gift or even just a nice birthday message, which you can do yourself as well, or you can give someone maybe a birthday promo code to go and shop on your online store. So let's go ahead and edit the birthday field settings here. For the date format, we just have month, day, or day, month. It does not give you the option to ask someone the year in which they're born. We'll leave it as optional because it is personal information and some people just won't be comfortable sharing it. I'll leave it as visible and then add a bit of help text to give more context as to why we're asking this question. And actually, just out of curiosity, I want to try and add an emoji to this. I've never actually tried it, so you'll see kind of in real time whether or not it works. But I'm going to go to an emoji website that I often use, and that is emojipedia.org. And I'll just look up party. If I click on Party Popper here and copy it, we'll see if it works. Hit save, and then I'll go and refresh our form. All right, so where is birthday? This form is getting pretty long here. Oh yeah, so it doesn't work, which is kind of unfortunate. Maybe that's something Mailchimp will add in the future. So I'll go back and delete it. Oh, and it didn't even save actually. So I'll just replace it with an exclamation mark. And then I'll hit save again. Next up on the list of fields is address. And the address field is pretty standard. We're looking at street address 1, 2, city, the state, province, or region, along with the postal or zip code. And a lot of these settings can kind of remain as is. We've got the label, which is address. I'm not going to make it a required field. We can leave it as visible. And it looks like the default country on here is the USA. Feel free to change that if you'd like, and then hit save. Now, because address to me goes along with email address, first and last name, I'm going to go ahead and drag it up to the top. And then that way we're kind of grouping all of the different sections together. All right, so moving right along, next up we have zip code, which is US only. I will show you what it looks like, although it seems kind of redundant since it's already in the address section. So let's hit zip code. Looks pretty self-explanatory. You just enter the zip code. So I'm going to hit save field. But again, because we already asked for the zip code up here, I'm going to simply delete it. Again, I was really just putting it on there just to show you what it looked like. And oftentimes when you remove something in Mailchimp, they do ask you to double confirm it basically by entering the word delete. This is just to make sure that you don't delete something by accident. So next on the list is phone number. We can leave the label as is. You can change the format if you'd like. You can also make it a required field or optional. I will go ahead and leave it as visible. I'll go ahead and add a little bit of help text. And then hit save. It makes sense to put phone number up along with address up at the top. So 2 more to go. Well, 2 more, and then I'm going to do the text at the bottom. So we've got website. The label is website. Next, we'll plug in the help text. Hit save, and then we'll drag it up to the top as well. Now we do have the option to add an image field. And this is what it looks like. It says image URL, which basically allows someone to enter the URL of any image. Now, I don't know exactly why you would want to use this field, but if you do want to use it, you have the option. And I'll show you the field settings over on the right. It's really just label, the field tag, which is essentially just what the tag is labeled as on the back end, essentially, whether or not it's required, whether or not it's visible, and then the help text and the merge tag value that you've seen in all of the other fields. So again, you do have the option to use that field if you'd like. Before I go ahead and add the last field, which is going to be a text field, I'm going to have a scroll through and just make sure that there aren't any other fields that we'd like to reposition or reorder. So we've got the title or logo at the top, some text here, followed by email address, first name, last name, address, phone number, and website, all of which makes sense to keep at the top because it's just the person's personal information. And then if we move down, we've got a date field, the number field, a drop down here. We've got some radio buttons, birthday field, the image URL, along with 2 different checkbox fields. Now, the only one that seems a little bit out of place is the birthday field here. So we'll go ahead and click on it and then drag it up to the top. And then that way, at least it's with the personal information. So let's go ahead and refresh the page here. As you can see, this advanced Mailchimp sign-up form is ready to take on a ton of information from whoever's going to be filling it out. So if we head on back to Mailchimp, I will add the text field. So as you can see here, there is a text field that has been added. And I would like for someone to be able to add extra comments if needed. I'm not going to mark it off as a required field, only because not everyone is going to want to add additional comments. I'll leave it as visible and then add my help text here. And then I'll go ahead and hit Save Field. Now, ideally, having additional comments would have been at the very bottom of the form, right before you hit subscribe. But for some reason, you can't actually put it below the checkboxes. So I'm going to have to just leave that field there. So let's go ahead and refresh our form here. So while we've added lots of different fields that will basically take in tons of different information from your reader, it could really do with something to make it look a little more attractive. So I'm going to show you how to add an image to your sign up form. And to do that, I'm simply going to edit the text at the top because I can add it in here. Now, the only thing missing right now is an image because I don't have an image to add to the sign up form. So I'm going to zip over to Canva and make something really quickly there. Now, if you already have an image, feel free to skip that part. Otherwise, feel free to follow along as I create the image. It's really easy to do and doesn't take much time at all. So if we head on over to Canva, I'm going to hit Create a Design in the top right and hit Custom Size. And the standard size of an email newsletter is generally going to be 600 pixels wide. So I'm not going to make my image any bigger than that because the sign up form kind of looks like an email campaign as far as the width goes. So I'll stay within that 600 pixels. For the height, I'm going to pick 300 pixels, and that's going to give me a nice rectangular shape. While there are templates that you can use on the left-hand side, I'm just making a generic image, so I don't actually need a template in this case. What I would like to do is create an image that has a laptop on it with the eStoreKings website on the laptop. So I'm going to head on over to Elements on the left-hand side, and then scroll down to the different frames here. If we click on See All, we've got a few different options when it comes to displaying something digitally. I'm going to select the laptop. From there, I'm going to make it a touch bigger, and then I'll just center it here. Whenever you hit a solid line in Canva, it means that you're centering the image. And then of course, I need something to go onto the computer. So I'm going to head on over to our website. I'll go to the home page. And then from there, I'm just going to take a screenshot of the home page so that I can plug it into the laptop. Once I've taken my screenshot, I'll head on back to Canva, where I can add my new screenshot by clicking on the Uploads tab. And then once it's uploaded from my computer, I can simply drag and drop it onto the laptop. There we have it. We now have a laptop with our home page on it. If you need to reposition the image or resize it, you certainly can by double-clicking on it. And then the last thing that I'd like to do is add a few different icons when it comes to the types of tools that we cover with our learning content. So if we head on back to the main elements page, we can start to search for different icons up in the search field. And then to add one that we like, we simply click on it. And then I'll resize and reposition them. And I'm going to continue adding different logos here, just to give people better ideas to what kind of content we cover in our email newsletters. Again, I'll just resize and reposition it. And actually, I'm going to bring the laptop down just a touch to give the logos a little more space. Now, the great thing about adding logos is the brand recognition that comes along with them. So someone signing up for our email newsletter will quickly be able to tell, what kind of information and material we'll be covering. So let's go ahead and add just a few more. And the great thing about Canva is that a lot of these logos are already available within their photo library. or their element library, I guess I should say. And then if you want, you can actually rotate them by clicking on the icon and then clicking the rotate option. And this just kind of makes the image a little more fun. All right, so nothing terribly fancy, but just an image that we can now add to our sign up form. Now that I'm done, I'm going to hit the share button in the top right-hand corner. From there, I'll hit download and then download again because it's already selected a PNG for the format. Now that we have our image, I'll head on back to Mailchimp. And from there, we can go ahead and add our new image. I'm going to hit the image icon here and then upload. I'm going to keep the dimensions of the image as is. Once we plug it in, we'll be able to better tell whether or not we have to adjust that. But for now, I will leave it as is. I'm also going to leave this blank as we don't want to link to anything from this image. So we'll go ahead and hit save. So there we have our image. I'll go ahead and click save and close. And it looks like we do have to readjust the dimensions. So I'm going to hit edit. So if I double click on the image, I can come back and readjust the settings here. And let's try 500 pixels for the width and see if that fixes things. Now, of course, that does look better now. So I'll go ahead and look at the form. And after refreshing the sign up form, I am happy with how the image is displaying now. Thanks to the image, we now have a splash of color, which makes the Mailchimp sign up form just a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. And I think that's it. We can call it a day with our advanced Mailchimp sign up form. I hope that you found this Mailchimp tutorial helpful. I know that there was a lot to cover and a lot of different options available to us. And again, you're more than welcome to use all of the different fields or pick and choose, which ones make sense for your sign up form. For more email marketing tips and tricks, be sure to sign up for our email newsletter where we send out free resources every week. And definitely hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one.